Hi betting experts, we're going to take a look now at the Champion Hurdle. A few weeks away, there is uncertainty about some of the horses going to line up in it or go to the Mares' Hurdle, notably Brighter Days Ahead, who has a huge bearing on the shape of the market and the way the race will be run. So it's a difficult race to pin down. I do instinctively think the Constitution Hill is too short, particularly if they all do turn up, around about 4 to 7. I mean, he's a hard horse to crab. He's 10 from 10 over hurdles. He won the 2022 Supreme, the 2023 champion. He looked like an absolute superstar. He has had lots of issues. I think he's had colic. He may have had issues with his breathing, although they do deny that. He returned with a gallop at Newbury where he looked sort of legless in the final 100 yards, and they were very worried about his future at that time. But Henderson's a genius. He got him back. He was 32 kilograms lighter between Newbury and Kempton over Christmas. He won in workmanlike style at Kempton fairly readily. I mean, the only other runner, Lossiemouth, who I thought would give him a real race, hang the latch and drifted out left at all the early hurdles, just run off her feet on good ground, really. And I thought Constitution Hill was workmanlike. I don't think that run at Kempton told you that he was back to his best. In fact, you could go the other way and say maybe he isn't quite as good as he was, but he didn't come off the bridle to win a non-event at Cheltenham in January. De Boinville nearly making a Horlicks to the last, allowing the horse to take off a ridiculous distance away, nearly coming down, but anyway, he didn't come off the bridle there. He looked as good as ever, in truth. He is just a horse with all that history, with De Boinville up. I just don't think you get any bargains betting 7 or on at Cheltenham, full stop. It is one of those places the bookmakers get things to happen for them, and I think the value probably lies playing each way elsewhere. Now, those contenders for the places, as it were, on paper anyway, Brighter Days Ahead, well, she's a fascinating runner, a completely different proposition. She's been for Gordon Elliott this season. She's now 7 from 8. Her only defeat, which some people may use to crab her, well, it came at Cheltenham in the Grade 2 Ryanair Mares' Hurdle at the 2024 festival. They put pounds, shillings and pence on her. They sent off an odds-on favourite from odds against in the morning. She was ridden with overconfidence. I watched the run back this morning. I mean, all stages, I think her rider thought she was definitely going to win. And Golden Ace is a fast horse who was on her A game that day and just did her for toe after the last. I wouldn't say the track was any issue for Brighter Days Ahead. Some people might point their only defeat came here in 8 starts over her as well. I don't think that's a reason. Whether the form's good enough, I mean, she emerged for us as a serious contender for this race when routing the field by 30 lengths at Leopardstown in December. That was so impressive, but I mean, there was something wrong with State Man that day, and State Man was the other runner, so what she actually achieved is a question mark. But she's going forwards, she's progressive, there's more to come from her. She's not had the issues that the favourites had, and I can understand how there is a real camp of people who around about 4 to 1 believe she's a cracking each way bet, and I certainly wouldn't put you off, particularly if Gordon is brave enough to take up this option. I mean, when the race comes around, she's probably going to be odds on for the Mares' Hurdle, and you know, you're looking at 4 or 5 to 1 for this race, so they may be tempted for the softer option. I hope they take Constitution on. It'll be a cracking race. Lossiemouth now, I mean, this is the one who's gone to a very fair price. If you can get on each way, non-runner, no bet, I don't think you're doing any harm. She's top class. She's won 9 of her 12 career starts. She's eased dramatically in the betting. She's doubled in price after 2 defeats this winter. Watch that Kempton run back when Constitution beat her fairly comfortably. She just didn't have the track. I don't think she really wanted to go right-handed. She didn't like the good ground. She was sort of hanging the latch out in rear, sort of looking temperamental, if I'm being honest. Nobody said that, but I think that is the truth. She didn't really want to know. She ran on a bit late. She didn't actually get beat that far, which does, I think, put a slight question mark on what Constitution Hill achieved that day. The reason she drifted so much after that is she took a horrible crashing fall at the 6th. It was one of those falls where you did think, oh my God, you know, I hope she's going to get up from it. But she did bounce back. Apparently she's been working well at home since. Her facile 2024 victory in the Mares' Hurdle was one of the most impressive performances at that festival. I think a bit of soft ground back at Cheltenham. It's her track. She's a strong stayer at this trip. I think if she's back on her A game, I think she could still give Constitution a race with conditions to suit. And Willie Mullins just an absolute genius with these horses. 7 to 1. You're getting sort of 6 to 4-ish a place. I think that's a fantastic bet. There's no runners. There's very few realistic contenders. I think she'll go really well. State Man, he's a double-figure price. He's won 13 times from 18 starts without really ever maybe getting the credit he deserves. I think that's partly due to the fact that he's been coming back every Sunday in Ireland, beating the same 3 horses at 5-1 on, to be truthful. He did win the 2024 champion, but it was a poor race. There's no getting away from that. He scrambled home by a length and a half. He wasn't particularly impressive. That's probably him. I don't think he does loads in front. He won at the Dublin Racing Festival. It was hard to say what was going better. Lossiemouth fell and nearly brought him down. So hopefully that experience didn't leave a mark. He was eased down afterwards to win comfortably. I mean, whether there was loads left in the tank, I'm not sure it was the ideal preparation, getting in a war on the lead and then getting a whack when Lossiemouth fell. But basically, the long and the short of it, I'll be absolutely amazed if he's good enough. I don't think he's got the upside. I can see him finishing sort of 3rd, 4th or 5th, to be honest. He's bound to give his running again. He only hasn't given his running once, and that was behind Brighter Days Ahead. There must have been an excuse that day, but I don't think he's any bargain at around 10-1. And finally, the fly in the ointment, the sort of clever person's each way tip, maybe Burdett Road 25-1. First thing to say, James Owen, very much a trainer to follow, flat and jumps. He is going places, and he's got this one thriving. Going to run in the Kingwell this weekend, just after we've done this recording. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes there. He's progressive. He goes with zest from the front, but I think he'll be a sitting duck up the hill at Cheltenham against these sort of rivals. It's a massive jump up in class, and then it's sort of 50-1 bar. So I think the betting expert selection at this stage is a couple of points each way at around 7-1, non-runner no bet with priced up bet. I think it's a very good betting proposition. Best of luck with all your champion hurdle bets, betting experts.